Just how does the BMW X7's interior hold up after 40,000 miles? Let's find out.
Motrolix.
Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Alex Luft, and as some of you may have already heard from my other videos, I am in the market for a BMW X7. So to do kind of an extended test drive and make sure that this is the car for me, what I've done is I've rented one off of Turo. Here it is. This is a 2021 X7 xDrive 40i, and it has just under 40,000 miles. And it's in pretty good condition. There are some dings and dents and things like that overall, some cosmetic things, but overall, the condition that it's in is very good. But one of the things that I would like to show you is the condition of the interior after just about 40,000 miles. So this particular model is equipped with the Tartufo interior colorway that you can see here. It's this dark brown colorway that's attractive to some, and of course it might be too dark and too brown for others. I personally find it attractive, but that's neither here nor there. So let's take a look. First, start at the door. The top trim is good. It hasn't cracked. I don't see any major wear or tear on it. But I do notice that the stitching here, it kind of is getting dirty, which is to be expected from a vehicle that is just about 40,000 miles on it, and B, is essentially a rental. So that's the top part here. The armrest, this is the part that gets the most abuse in any vehicle, especially from the driver, because this serves as the outboard armrest for the driver. So this is showing some signs of wear. You can see it's kind of maybe starting to crack a bit over here. There's some scratches, some scuffs, and this is beginning to show some signs of wear. The hard materials here, like this wood inlay and this metal inlay, it's good. This piece, it is showing some scuffs, as you can see here. It is a softer kind of vinyl material here, so again, this is all very high quality material. But the door doesn't seem that bad. I think if it were taken care of better, perhaps if it wasn't a rental, this would probably fare even better. Okay, now let's take a look at the seats. And here they are. So the driver's seat is typically the seat that gets the most wear and tear and the most abuse in a vehicle, just, you know, for obvious reasons. And so let's take a look at that first. The headrest seems to be okay. The seat back here, well, it is beginning to show some signs of wear, particularly on the side bolsters here. So as you can see, this is BMW Individual, it says. So right around here is where it's beginning to show some signs of wear and tear, some light kind of cracking in the leather. This is a very nice, supple, rich leather. There is a little tear over here. You can kind of see that at the bottom of the seat here. Let me look at the outside bolster here. Yeah, not bad. So, you know, some little scuff marks here, probably from people getting in and out with belts or things like that. But outside of that, the seat back is in pretty good shape. Let's take a look now at the seat cushion. The seat cushion is really what gets the most wear and tear of any seat in a vehicle, more than the headrest, obviously, and more than the seat back. This is where all the weight goes, and so let's see here. You do have some striation marks here that are beginning to show these kind of cracks in the actual leather. There are some other ones coming around over here, others over here as well. So there is some wear and tear. It's not all that bad. And I think, like I said about the door armrest, this would probably look a lot better if this particular X7 was not a rental. You know, people tend to, for some reason, treat rentals worse than they would their own vehicle. Let me take a look over here. This part typically shows quite a bit of wear and tear. It is beginning to show some signs, but, you know, not all that much. There are some scuff marks, as you can see on the door sill plate here. This is an illuminated sill plate. Not many scuff marks on this part. This is another piece that typically gets beat up and hit quite a bit, but there's not that many scuffs over here. Maybe something over, nope, that's not even it. That was just dirt. So nothing taking place here. And of course, beyond the seat and beyond the door card, the part of the car that gets the most wear and tear is the steering wheel. So let's take a look at that as well. Now, before I go any further, I would like to note that this steering wheel is very, very good. It looks great first and foremost. So it's got a very nice design, kind of sporty, kind of luxurious. Nice 9 and 3 stem designs here, and then of course the 6 o'clock stem right here with the M badging to signify that this vehicle is equipped with the M Sport package. And then of course the nice stitching here on the center of the wheel, BMW logo there, some paddle shifters here behind the wheel, and then the turn signal stalk plus the stalk to control the front and rear wipers. So this is a nice wheel. The wheel, as you can see, it's quite meaty. You can really grab onto it. It's got these nice protrusions here for better grip, and this thing looks and feels very good to the touch. The suede trim on the pillars and on the ceiling, essentially all of the lining that is suede, micro suede material here, it's held up really well. I can see the stitching is still intact on the visors here. Yep, very much intact indeed, so that's nice. There's really not all that much that is dirty or otherwise broken about this interior, so pretty good news for, again, a vehicle that has just about 40,000 miles on the clock. Now, to wrap this up at the front, what I would also like to look at now is this center console that serves as the armrest or the elbow rest for the driver and the front passenger. So as you can see, in much the same way as the door card, this has held up pretty well. It can use a nice little cleaning, but outside of that, there's no major rips, no major dents, no major bubbling. And if you compare the condition of this center armrest to that of my Corvette C7 that I've been driving that has just around 40,000 miles on the clock, well, if you compare it, you'll see that this is actually in a much better condition than that of my Corvette C7, which is showing all kinds of signs of bubbling and warping and all that stuff, which I think is mostly because my Corvette is a manual, and therefore this part sees a lot more as it relates to pressures and forces exerted on it. So essentially a lot more wear and tear on this. All right, and that should bring us to the second row. Let's see how this X7 has fared as it relates to the second row. So here it is. You do have less wear and tear here, so the door card is fine. This top part is fine. This is, like I said, a nice soft material, even back here at the rear door. This part also is soft, not a hard plastic, but actually a soft kind of vinyl material. And it also has held up pretty well. There's not any major kicks to it, it seems. There's not any dents, any kind of rips, tears, or anything of that nature. The armrest here is fine. That's great news as well. All right, let's take a look at these seats now. So the seats overall, they seem to have held up better than the front seats. So there is a lot fewer. In fact, I don't see any warping marks or leather crinkle marks, if I can call them that. I don't see any of that around here. So the second row seats are looking quite healthy. That's great news. And that brings us to third row. The third row is probably the best of all rows because in this car it seems like it has not been used much. But there is a bit of dirt here. Someone got it dirty, perhaps with some chocolate there. That could obviously all be washed off. But nevertheless, this third row is in really pristine shape. So that's great news. Looking at the floor, you know, people getting in and out of this vehicle into the third row. Not much broken here. There's some, you know, scuffs that are to be expected and some dirt on the seatbelt base cover right here. Other than that, no rails are broken. The Isofix stuff is intact, but not much else going on beyond that. The back of these second row captain's chairs, they do have some dents and dings in them, like that one there. There's a few more. That's, I think, to be expected, especially from a rental vehicle. I don't know how long this vehicle has been a rental. You know, it was probably someone's personal vehicle at first, but nevertheless, there we are. So overall, this X7's interior, after 40,000 miles, has fared quite well. And, you know, that's really good news, because there was a time in the not so distant past that BMW's interiors were A, not all that great, and B, well, they didn't really last all that long. Some wear and tear, and, you know, all the stuff would start to show considerable signs of use. Well, as you can see, that is not the case
with this 2021 BMW X7. For Motrolix, I'm Alex Luft. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Motrolix.